everybody, this is 41Celsius25, Winter Solstice 8, and I am going to tell you a bit on the new, this new festival updates for Lunar New Year this year, and I totally butchered that. Okay. Now, this would actually be a little better recorded if... Okay, I really messed that up. Why am I messing everything up? But I realized that my capture methods wasn't taking audio from my microphone. I don't know why that was, but yeah, I've been trying out this little setup by NVIDIA as of recent. So far I really like it. I don't think I accepted that. I gotta tell you, these things are so finicky. It's like, you would think it should be taking, and it's just not. It is actually a little bit frustrating in that regards.
Greetings.
It is partially because you don't understand what the technical limitation of that is. Which I gotta tell you, when I actually speedrun these things, it's often like a good several tries for me to actually get anything decent out of it. Mostly just because of like the trial and error of this and that wanting to work and that not wanting to work stuff. I don't actually think I've caught that bit of dialogue before over there. I'll probably try to catch it sometime, but... and whatever. Okay, got that speed boost from crashing. And yes, you do get an amount of it back when you collide with things, which does make collisions an amount of viable when you are at certain points. Okay, I didn't collide with anything, that's good. That means I can save my boost for when I actually want it for something. My mouse. I did that a little late, but it's fine, it worked. I don't know why there's a squad there, but okay.
Whatever. Don't come back.
Entirely how I did that kind of badly, but that's eh. Eventually I realized it's kind of faster just going around those than through those. I don't want to land on anything right there. This bit, I want to make a use of that and go down here like a million miles an hour. I want to stand on the inside. Go up this a million miles an hour. And that is how you go absolutely berserk with your time. Oh yeah. 247. That's actually a new record for me, which is convenient for me because I'm doing this on camera for once, and also like talking about like my thought process. Which is actually something I don't do much, but I want to do a bit more of that kind of stuff, I guess. Now this one, I might be able to get away with just doing it like a so. Okay, let's hope I don't crash into a million objects. Let's turn. Damn it. Yeah. Okay, get that sharp. Now I have noticed it is actually a little bit better if you can manage a proper boost in that bit without totally screwing up. Okay. That's actually as smooth as this bit has gone for me also. I think it's because I'm also getting a bit of mental clarity of like speaking my mind of what I'm doing while I'm performing. Now usually it works the exact opposite way around, where when you're trying to talk about it, stuff like that happens. It just totally messes up your run. Okay, got my drift ready. And no, you don't actually need a drift for that bit. It's more so for the sharp right away turn up that ramp that was back there, which oftentimes you can actually just sort of slide past and absolutely mess up a lot of things. Now I do know right away that this is more viable of an option. This is quite considerably faster. This is probably... Is this another new record? Wow, that's another new record. Awesome. That's actually 2 seconds faster than my previous record. That's like 2 new records in one go. Yeah, I don't know why. I think I'm just in a good headspace right now. It's definitely got to be like the headspace, and also a bit of like I'm not having a render issue from teleporting back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, because that's actually a thing. Now this is actually pretty noteworthy for if you're trying to go for these records, if you're trying not to be sabotaged by like the environment or yourself. Now you probably want to like keep this one down in your memory. So the way waypoints work is as soon as you're on the map, you're technically always on it until you leave the map, in which case nothing is actually unloading. Instead, it's just a render game. You're going back and forth one place to another, re-rendering everything. Like, all the objects are still there, you're just rendering the visibility of that each time, and to a certain amount by relativity, to my understanding. So if you waypoint from, say, really close by, you're not having to re-render a whole lot of things, just whatever was slightly further away. In which case, if you hold still for a while, you can let everything just sort of catch up. Let's see. So I did this one, I did that one, which means I haven't done this one. Now this is the one I don't think I'll actually be able to set a new record to, just because it is an amount more annoying to understand exactly how it was I got my better timing on this. I don't actually know how I got this, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, mount lag, where you're just like basically on the floor when you switch mounts. You're actually on your mounts, moving around, but if you don't let it like the game like catch up in like the rendering and whatnot, it's going to be leaving you right there when you say dismount. But otherwise you can run around and physically tag the little check marks. That is actually something noteworthy. Let's see how this goes. I totally missed that. But yeah, stuff like this, like depending on your proximity and how often you're doing it, you're just gonna see a lot of the game trying to catch up more. Like if you sit there for a while, your game's gonna catch up eventually and you will have to fight it less. Otherwise, another fast alternative to mostly doing that is is interestingly enough to swap maps and back, or to go to your character swap screen and back, because that unloads the map and puts you in the loading screen for long enough to actually kind of properly readjust a lot of the map components and whatnot. Enough for you to like go through it more properly. And that's only because you're unloading and reloading the map. Also, while it's trying to re-catch up on like the rendering. Ah, dang it. That's gonna mess up my run heavy. I mean, as is, this is already a pretty garbage run. So actually, I think I'm gonna start this one over. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff I don't normally show on video. It's like, oftentimes a lot of these runs actually take me quite a while to get one properly done. Because I want to do it proper. I don't want to do it like half-assed or something. But I'm probably gonna start seeing a bit more of like the rendering issue now, because I just went around the entirety of DR. We'll find out. Ow. And then I just had that. Now, one of the hardships of working with Beetle is your turning. Now, if you're like me and you do your little right-click drag stuff, sometimes part of this or that can just keep you from not actually doing that correctly. And that can become its own creative issue for Beetle. Where it's like, okay, now I can't turn right away when I'm starting. That is one of my main complaints of trying to work with Beetle off the bat, of what I would say sabotages me like 20-30% of the time. And yes, it is that big of a percentage, so you can just imagine that it can actually be a little on the frustrating side. Needed that quick purge going. I feel like I missed something, but I did not mean to do that. I meant to save that jump for going over the one thing and then going over the fence. So yeah, there is a lot of things for having an eye for corner cutting when it comes to doing time trials. But part of what I wanted to make this video was also talking about how I like always doing all this crazy stuff to improve my time trials. Like I said, I have absolutely no idea how I get that time. Like I think I used the beetle at some point, but I'm not sure the viability of that. Guess I can try it real quick. Now I am actually going to talk about the other stuff of this festival in a sec. I just really want to get this a proper shot. Back. I probably shouldn't have actually done that sky scale boost, but that's fine. So I would say there's a lot of like little bit of like knowledge and discipline in actually doing these kinds of things. So that's actually kind of why I personally get into going absolutely nuts with these. Okay. I so screwed that up. Like, ouch.
Yeah, my mom sent me out for eggs.
Just wonder how viable this as an idea is. Actually, that's pretty impressive. No! I so messed that up so badly. I can feel it. I can feel it in my soul. Wait, what? I missed one? Ow. Ow. Man, I swear, that one's always also iffy. It's like one of the two more iffier ones, actually. Between, like, that one and this one that's up here. It's just something about their placement. You can easily miss them when you're in a rush of a movement. So one of the first notable things, I forgot to ditch that. That's actually new for this festival this year. Oh my god. I can't believe I forgot that. There is this new game type here, the Celestial Challenge. I almost want to describe it as being like a mini-game thing, but at the same time it does not give you a Mario Party-esque feel. Just more of a, we're all gonna be doing this together thing. There's gonna be all these different little things to do. And odds are something like half of people actually kind of know what they're doing in it. Don't you? Like, most people don't do this little movement trim that I'm doing. That's actually quite uncommon. Like, if you watch people, they usually run through like the middle of these, and you really just don't need to do that like that. Because it is based on like your player hitbox in relations to these circles. really don't need the fighter to manage all these, or at least you're not supposed to need to. But of course that is considerably faster. Yeah, you can just sort of sharp turn these, go here, edge that to this one, go on the inside of these. I say inside because it turns right. You just sort of do it enough, you have the right idea. Now because I'm a revenant, I have to turn that off. Or that's going to get annoying real quick when I actually want to do something. You stole my point and now I'm going to starve. I wanted to do it first. Wait. Okay, there. They sort of took their time.
On the double!
Right on the point. You think just because you're a ranger, you actually have to not be on the point? Wow. Some people.
Iron Legion, put your best into it!
See, this ranger isn't hiding. They have a great sword and everything. They know what they're doing. Honestly, Great Sword Ranger is actually quite fun. I don't know if anyone else has done it before. Oh, gates. Another gates. I like it. Gates are my favorite because it's actually quite difficult to fail at them. Like, you literally need AFK people to fail at them. Yeah, like I said earlier, I did try to record a lot of this earlier, but it's like I didn't realize at the time that my capture stuff wasn't actually catching my audio. I don't actually know what the story was with that, but from now on I know if it is capturing my audio, it'll physically show a little microphone on the top right of my thing. So that's going to make it a little easier to be sure. Okay, get my two dodges off. Yeah, I was not too happy that it didn't catch. Yeah, these challenges, from what I can tell, are a little on the randomized side. So some of them are going to be in your favor, some of them are absolutely going to bomb you with awful. There's like way too many people.
How'd that be? Excruciating?
There are only like 2 of these being capped. People, move on. Y'all are lazy. Wait, what?
Fate
Timing.
meet fist!
Are you after me? You should have seen them first. Goodness. Sneezes. They're strong. I'll toss this guy down because I really need to heal, but I also want to hurt face. How dare you? I see what you're doing. Where's the... No. It's this one? Wait. Oh, I'm blind. At the very least, we're gonna get the bonus points. So if you actually like go through the entirety of a round, you get the bonus points for it, and in turn, you'd be able to go through this far within 4 of these challenges. And that is physically the fastest you can actually do it. Like, this is actually quite smooth right now. Otherwise, some of the challenges will actually really mess you up. Like, but oftentimes that's like either the collect motes ones, or it's the tributes one. tribute ones are actually some of the hardest to get, but there is a mote one where it's like incredibly scarce on motes that's next to impossible to actually fulfill. Because they're just so, between them being spread apart and not spawning in enough, and then I think you need like 100 or 200 of them, and it's just like, how on earth are we gonna get this many? And it's just very baffling. But let's see, what did I get from that? Now sometimes you do get a Celestial Challenge token thing, which does exchange to like the vendors back in the pavilion, and that can amount to like another one of the bigger, the more like main expensive envelopes you can get. The ones that are usually like a gold, you can get them with like a token in 90 silver instead as a possibility if you like grind these things out in RNG being on your side or something. But otherwise, the next thing that's new is this, the mini lunar rat. Still debating if I actually want it, because I do want to save up my gold for like new gear. Then I am also going to try to get this before the festival ends. Now that is going to be a bit of a grind on my parts, but I think it can be done. Then of course,
How do you do?
there is now the weekly vendor.
Always a pleasure.
But besides them, there isn't too much new besides the new shiny Aureate weapon skins, which they actually are about to kind of re-release. People weren't too crazy about how plain they were, so they kind of like complained a lot. And I guess they're gonna do like some kind of re-release them with like effects. Otherwise, I was actually kind of keen on the shield skin. Actually kind of like go somewhere where I'm actually able to show it, which is actually just around the corner. Curse you. Nope, didn't do it this time. And what I'm referring to is this. So my sky skill is actually back there trying to run this skill. But the game didn't understand what I was just doing. So it waited for the skill and buffs to run, boons to run out before it spit me back to normal character. Now this is that's just something I've kind of like discovered by accident. But let's see, shiny, isn't it shiny? What is it called? Shiny. Oh, I see, it's shining, not shiny. Okay.
May Lissa aid you.
But let's say here's the regular for this weapon. Now here's the shining of this weapon. Down the middle it has this gold, look here, why am I trying to right click? And then they changed the coloring of one bit to be a little more red, I think. Yeah, a little more vibrant, more red. Which does actually considerably look better on some of them. Like, I do think it is kind of half considerable for a number of uses. It does make for better to a lot of themes. Here's one of the ones I do have. And then I also have the shield, which I absolutely like. Like, I do really think there is themes for this that people don't normally go after. So I don't fully understand why people are complaining, although they complain about a lot of weapon skins. And quite frankly, so do I. Although I haven't really complained too much about these ones. Mostly because of their color scheme. Oh right, I have certain ones hidden. I was thinking, why can't I see this And I realized it's because I have certain weapons like hidden from my sides, I think. Either that or it sinks into the textures of my clothes, I don't know. Yeah, I really do think that looks pretty cool. Like I said, actually this one I probably wouldn't actually get. Just because I'm not fond of the head of that thing. I think there's another one I wouldn't get. Like, this one's actually pretty good. I think this would make for a better sort of scepter for like royalty or something almost. As it's compared to like this other one. It's like, it's okay, but I think the gold is a lot more complimentary for the idea. I've seen one person saying they like the pistol, but I'm a little about it. Although I've always been picky about certain weapon types. I guess, I don't know if it's like a standard or if it's just I'm looking for something more specific. But I do think the mace is okay enough. And would be good for like a knight's mace with like a golden theme. Like, I don't think that was too doable before, but it is now with the shining aureate weapons. So yeah, I still have some disagreements with the complaints, but what are you gonna do? Now, I was actually fond of the original of this knife. Although I think what they could do is a bit more of a sword breaker design on like a dagger skin or sword skin or something, where they have like the little cut grooves inside intended to catch another blade. In which case then you'd be able to counterattack properly. It'd be sort of like a parry dagger. Yeah. Guess that's all I have to talk about of that case. So it used to be the case where this had no physical solid surface. Now, evidently, ANET has fixed that. And they also fixed the bit where you could go into here. Now, this bothers me because you used to be able to get into the throne room from that way. And just like bunny hop into there or something. So I am a little distraught about that. So I like to think there's probably still some sort of secret potential. But those are dreams for another day. Dreams for another day. But the obvious reason for why they fixed it is purely because of the celestial challenges have taken place on top of where some of these are, particularly here. In fact, I'm sure that's how they actually came to start caring about it. Otherwise, I doubt they actually wanted to hard patch it. But like it or not, that is unfortunately what became of that. But there is something else on the newer side to do with this area. And that is, there is this interesting NPC here, the hiding child. Now what this child is for, I will show you. Let's see. Let me actually equip this. Aha.
Hey there, buddy.
So, with the Sky Scale pet thing, there was a spot right here for inspecting. And in turn, it would give you the ability to learn this, because he would notice the hiding child, be like, what's going on over here? You could be like, sit there and let me hide. I don't think I can go on Oh, you found me. But that'd be part of the training process. And you can basically train the Skyscale pet once every 30 minutes. And there's a location like this in every city. And I do remember them off the top of my head. All the locations. Let's see. In Red Assume, it was a little more along this line of things. Just like right by the Peacemakers headquarters. It was the same level as that, but it was like off to the side with like the MOA pets. There was like a golem your Skyscale could watch basically fall apart and get put back together. And in turn he would learn Play Dead. Let's see. In the Grove, like the bottom layer of the Grove. I think it was the bottom layer. Might be the top. But it was like over the side of the map, and there was some NPCs sitting down. I think it was the top. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the top. You see them sitting down like over this direction, and he learns Sit. In Lion's Arch, about exactly here-ish in the plaza. Now you don't actually, I didn't personally see the ball, but he gets to learn to play ball there. Let's see, in Hallbreck, that's not Hallbreck. Where is Hallbreck? There's Hallbreck. Exactly around here, he can learn to fire. Let me show you what fire means. Far away enough. I don't think that does any damage, but yeah, he can do it. And then last but not least, in Black Citadel, this is probably the closest waypoint to it, but it's basically over here or so. There's that platform with like the cannons, and basically he sees them firing the cannons and learns fireworks. I just realized I did a little. Oh. Let me see this. The reason I didn't actually notice it sooner is because I often play with my headphones off. Okay, I'm right on top of it. But in teaching the Skyscale pet all the tricks, you do get a mini out of it.
Sit.
The searing is ancient history. Get over it.
Yeah, that's most of what there is to talk about of this guy. Now, he was released during Winter's Day, but half of nobody actually knew much about the teaching him stuff. Like, I would talk about the hiding child and people would be like, what are you on about? Wait, there is a child there? Just a lot of stuff like that. And people would be like, I have no idea. When did he get there? He must be new. Well, technically she, but... because you can, like, make out the little pigtails. Or twin tails? Which is which? I'm not an expert in hair. I'm actually not sure. Away with ye. But there is two places to access the Celestial Challenge. By the way, there's one right here because it does take place here. And then the other is back at Crown Pavilion. But I have just recently basically capped off most of the achievement point stuff you can get from the festival. And that also includes the worst of the worst stuff. What is this stuff? Oh, that's because yeah, I did this. This was 12 times of doing 8 rounds of Celestial Challenger. So that's a total of 96 rounds, which took a stupid amount of time. Several hours, like probably I don't even know how many. It just took a stupid amount of time, and that was the most annoying thing I could have had to do, in my opinion. Via the means of doing your annual achievements for this festival, this is the item you get for doing your annuals. The fireworks spalders. Spalders. Such a weird word. I don't understand where it fully comes from, but okay. I don't actually know if that changes color right there, but otherwise, in my opinion, it's actually pretty cool. I just need to figure out something that can actually use it. It'll probably be a little while. But I remember someone was telling me that they wouldn't use it just because it gives them anxiety because they're wondering when it'll explode. So,
How so?
Everything's just been going.
put yourselves to Satan and have yourselves a good what day. Bye bye. Have yourselves a good what day. Bye bye.